Hello again, listeners. What's up, guys? It's your boy Chama. Welcome to another show of the Kotu Classic podcast. This is the Kotu Classic Extra, of course. And I'm joined with my boy Mo. Where Mo Yaba? Nakamnak.
Hey, cool, man. I don't know if I should say good morning or good afternoon because the time difference is hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's huge, man. Man, I'm in the I'm in the afternoon in Japan. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's just 2 p.m. in the afternoon. How about you? How is it in Cyprus?
man, I'm around 7 minutes past 8 in the morning, man. 8 a.m.
Wow, it's huge, man. It's huge. It's huge. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
recording from Asia, and Mo is in Europe right now. So today we wanna look ahead to the weekend. There is a lot of nice Premier League games coming up this weekend. Of course, last week we were here to do the combined Liverpool Man United 11 and our match predictions. So we will recap on that too a little bit. And I think Mo has a lot of things to say about his team, Man United. He's not so happy with his team. Mo, yeah. I think we can just start with the game from last week. Let's recap the game last week. You came up with a 2-2 prediction, and but I think your prediction was to United was not gonna win that one. I think, but then you had to change your mind just because you wanted to stay a bit optimistic. Going with the draw. What did you make of the game? It was a very easy game for Liverpool, right?
I mean, if you could remember, I told you that like Manchester United were not going to win that game.
Yeah.
I knew down. I knew from the beginning that they were not going to win that. Like we were not going to win that game, and it was way too easy. I mean, Sadio Mane was on the bench. Fabinho wasn't even available, I think.
Yeah, he was not.
I mean, it was too easy. And Liverpool didn't even play to their best. Like they didn't even struggle.
Yeah.
They didn't even struggle to win that
Yeah,
game.
that
It
was my
was
biggest surprise in the game actually. Yeah, I was expecting a fight from United, and but the way the game went, it was too easy. And at the end of the day, I did not, when we play United, usually I'm a little bit tense. I feel a little bit pressure. But I think from minute one, I could not feel anything. Like, I could not feel any, like, I did not see anything that United were offering in that game.
I mean, if you have a bunch of players that do not know what to do and do not know their rules, I mean, that's what you get. You go into the field and put up a mediocre performance because you do not know exactly what to do. And it's sad to see that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in a job. I mean, it just shows the incompetence of the Manchester United board. It
Uh-huh.
just illustrates how incompetent they are. If you could remember, before the season started, we had this the European league that they wanted to create.
The Super League, yeah. The European Super
The
League.
Super League.
Yeah.
And there was a protest from the Manchester United fans.
Yeah.
I honestly wish that protest would have continued to the extent that we got the Glazers out because I think I don't even think, I know that they're the biggest problem Manchester United have and have had for the past 16 years since they bought us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a competent owner who owned Manchester United, you don't even need to have a competent owner. What you need is a competent board, people in position of power who know football, who knows how the game of football goes, and can run a proper. Chelsea were in this situation, their manager wouldn't survive this.
Yeah, of course. I will cut you a little bit. I think, of course, Chelsea, they are a different type of club, and they are well known, when it comes to, getting rid of their managers in a very like drastic manners. But I think it works for them as a team. But as a Liverpool fan, I will not be surprised if we had a manager had this kind of fall off, and then they give him a little bit of time. So from a Chelsea perspective, it's a different team. So I think every team is different in that aspect. But also, you're talking about the board or Manchester United, and you're talking about Ole as in if his incompetence, which I think rival fans, myself included, we have also highlighted that. But then, if you look at the market right now, I know people are talking about Zidane, people are talking about Conte as potential managers who could replace Ole. Because United, if you look, they have gone through that route where they go with these, managers with like good experience and good record of winning things. Mourinho, for example. But it did not work. They use different types of methods they did different approaches when it comes to management for Manchester United to take the team forward. So I don't know if the route is to go back to this type of managers. Of course, like success in the short term might be there. For example, somebody like Conte. But I don't know if this is the structure that Manchester United as a club want to, model themselves on.
First of all, Manchester United do not have any structure in the first place.
Yeah.
We have not had a structure for the past since Sir Alex retired. Because what we had when Sir Alex Ferguson was the manager,
yeah,
I mean, we were lucky to have a manager that could win football games with whatever he had.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a super genius.
Mm-hmm.
And the Glazers got away with that because he was Sir Alex Ferguson. If you can remember, at the end of transfer windows, he would come out and say that there's no value in the market, here, this and that. All things to protect the Glazers and so on. It's true, we have tried big name managers with big experiences, but I don't blame them 100%. Jose Mourinho complained about it. Louis van Gaal complained about it. Above the manager, you have nobody who knows football in that board, who even comes out to speak to the fans and the public. And the second thing is, you have these managers who we have appointed before, who come out and complain to you that they don't get their first choice players. Louis van Gaal has complained this publicly. Jose Mourinho, the same thing.
But yeah, I think this kind of applies to all managers at the end of the day. It's just depend on the quality of managers because you cannot get everything you want as a manager. So, for example, at the start of this season, Man United brought in Jadon Sancho, who was a top target for United since last season. Man United brought in Varane. We know you struggled in defense. So you have one of the best defenders in the world. It was presented to the manager. Of course, Ronaldo, I'm not in full agreement with the Ronaldo signing, but we all know who Ronaldo is. He's one of the best players in the world. Like you highlighted last week, along with Lionel Messi, these two are the greatest footballers, one of the greatest footballers that ever lived. So you have these three signings. They are three very good signings. And considering your success from last season, where you finished second in the table, of course, I did not see a lot of progress. I think it was more about other teams around you not doing well. That's why it kind of sounded like a progress, but it was not much of a progress in terms of the team and things like that. But with the signings, the new signings, there is that expectation of this progress. So, talking about the board, at the end of the day, I think they have kind of helped in, trying to move the team forward. Like, they have progressed from last season into a better team this season. Do you agree with that or not?
I will agree that we have a way better squad this season. But the reason why I blame the board is for how many years these people have taken out money from the club. They have taken out more than they have invested in the club.
Yes.
Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in the entire world.
Yeah.
We have the most, we generate the most revenue in the entire world.
Yeah.
More than any other club, more than any other football club.
Yeah, that's true. But in terms of the team, okay. As a fan, I know what you're talking about the revenues of the club and stuff like that. But in terms of team, in terms of building a squad, in terms of signing players, Man United is one of the teams that spend the most in the last 4 or 5 years.
But how
Compared to
currently have they been spending that money?
yeah,
How
yeah,
currently have they been spending that money?
yeah. So
This is
the
the
money,
issue.
yeah, this the spending is not the issue. That's what I'm pointing at. So you are pointing they are one of the biggest club. They are one of the richest club. So I don't see that as a problem because they have invested. So the question is, like you say, is where they invested their money in. So the investment has not been, or the players they signed, did not live up to expectation or things like that. But again, looking at the season, last season you finished second. This season you came in and then you signed three three exceptional players. Of course, like as a outsider, I knew that. My thinking was that like your holding midfielder was more important than signing a Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo is the greatest player of all time, but getting somebody to come and play in that defensive midfield role that is better than what you had already. That was a better signing for Manchester United than Ronaldo. That does not mean I think that a six, like whoever you brought in, is a better footballer than Ronaldo. But as a team, signing that position, like improving that position, was more of a priority than bringing somebody like Ronaldo. So Ronaldo signing, as an outsider, I see it as a wrong signing. But if you wanna portray it that way, like as a Liverpool fan, some people may see it as okay, he's a bit jealous that we get Ronaldo or things like that. But that was not my point. It was more about what the team needs. And this is what we do at Liverpool. We look at what the team needs rather than the players that we can afford, or that rather than the players we can get.
That's true. I agree with you. Before I talk about the manager and the signings, I want
Yeah.
to go back to the board. I mean, when I said like we generate the most revenue,
Yeah.
um, we have spent a lot of money, but we could have spent more. And we could have spent the money that we have spent, we could have spent properly if we had proper football people taking proper decisions at the board level.
Yeah, I
Coming
agree.
to the manager, coming to the manager, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was brought into the team as an interim manager, what I thought was he was gonna come steady the ship,
And then
then
leave.
move away, and a proper manager brought in. I've never believed in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from the beginning. I respect him as an ex-legend of the team, and I think a lot of fans have been blackmailed by this fact that he's an ex-legend of the team. He scored this goal in the 19, was it the 92 or
99 final.
what? The 99 final, sorry. The 99 final. He's a likable guy. He's a nice guy. But this is Manchester United. Mr. Nice Guy cannot run Manchester United.
Yeah.
I don't believe that he had the capacity, the managerial capacity, to handle a big team like Manchester United. Let's take, for example, I mean, I do blame the board a lot, but if Ole Gunnar, I'll just give you an example. If I was sitting on the board of Manchester United and he comes to me and say, I want to sign this player. First of all, I will ask him, like, why would I give you money to sign those players when I have given you players that you don't even use, and they are one of some of your most expensive signings?
Yeah, I agree.
Season
Donny
before
van der Beek.
last, we bought Donny van der Beek for 35 million pounds. He was the most expensive signing that summer.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a kid that we signed from an academy or in a farmers league somewhere. This was somebody who came out from one of the best academies in Europe. We know Ajax of producing very good footballers, and they have a very attractive style of football and a good system. This was a player that Real Madrid and Juventus wanted. He came to the team. He just didn't use him.
Yeah, but do you think it was his signing? Do you think Van der Beek was an Ole signing or was a board signing? What was that?
Chama, I'm not going to fall into this trap of he was not always signing or not. You are the manager. A player has been brought in. Even if he is not your signing, you need that player. Your midfield has been crap for the past 1 year. If Manchester United midfielders were playing superbly, I wouldn't complain that he's on the bench without being used. But we've seen McTominay and Fred play crap for the past 1 year. Paul Pogba has not been used properly. Donny van de Beek deserves a chance in that team. If
Yeah,
he was in any of the top, if he was in any of the top 4 teams in England or even in Europe, Spain or Italy, I'm not gonna say that he's gonna start every game for those teams,
yeah.
but he will definitely get a lot of game time because he is a very good. This is a guy who played to the level of a Champions League semi-final.
Yeah,
He's a very good.
I agree. I agree with you. He's a very good footballer. I watch him with the Ajax team. That was like De Jong guys and the late, the one who went to Juventus. That team went to the Champions League semi-finals. They were very close to going to the Champions League final until Tottenham scored that last-minute goal against them. He was very good, instrumental in that team. I believe he's a very good footballer. But again, and I am baffled by the fact that he is not playing enough football for Manchester United. I'm baffled by it. Why it does not happen, I don't know. But
let me comment on that.
Yeah.
Donny van de Beek is not the only victim of this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a track record of signing players without using them. Donny van de Beek is just one. Our Diallo was his signing. Alex Telles was his signing. These players are not being used.
Yeah,
Jadon Sancho for 70. Jadon Sancho for 70. Was it 74 or 77 million pounds?
Yeah, around something like that. The figures does not matter.
Around those figures.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola bought Jack Grealish for 100 million pounds, and he is straight into the team. That is what you do if you want to give a player a chance.
Yeah,
but straight into the team.
Yeah, but the teams are different too. Again, Moriboy, the teams are a little bit different. Man City, they are a more settled team, and they had a very good start to the season. And Grealish can be carried like in a way. Man City will do like the 10 other players will be doing well, and Grealish could be there and trying to adapt to the team. So it's easier to ease in a player in that circumstance than in Man City. Than in Manchester United. Liverpool likewise. We only made one signing. He only made two league appearances this season, and the second one was against Manchester United. It depends. It depends on the team. Sancho, he came in. He started, I think, 1 game so far, but to be honest, he has not done exceptionally well. And you look at Greenwood, he has had a great start to the season, so it's difficult to bench Greenwood for Sancho. So it depends on the scenario. It depends on the time. So I'm sure Sancho will have his time and he will have his chance to play for Manchester United. Of course, now he has not lived up to that. And you spoke about Adam. What is it? Amad Diallo. That one, he's a very young player. We understand that. And then I think he had a very bad injury as well. So those things, it's all about easing them in. Telles Shaw had his best season last season. We understand that, and he was fit for the whole season. So it's difficult to integrate him into the team. So all those points I'm just trying to make. But of course, we're talking about Ole. Okay, yeah.
Before we continue, sorry to interrupt you. You've made very good points, but if you remember last season, we had after the lockdown when football came back, we had the shortest season. And we were playing about 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
This is a manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used the same 13 to 14 players all through that season. I'm not saying bench Luke Shaw for Alex Telles, but there were some games that you could rotate your team.
Yeah, that is true. That is a good point.
So that keep those players fresh. So that when you need them, they will be able to perform. If a player sits for a long time without playing, they become rusty. So when you need them, they will not be able to deliver what you want them to deliver.
Yeah, I agree.
Amad Diallo was playing in the Italian league.
But he was
playing in the Champions League. He was not playing to a maybe more higher and prestigious level.
No, but he was not starting. But he was not a proper. He was not a regular starter. He was not a regular starter in that team.
Definitely, I do agree. But isn't it the job of the coach to develop these players? And this comes down to the bad coaching. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching staff are not good enough for Manchester United. I agree. Enough.
No,
A
but
list of
but
players.
again, I will give you some examples again. I am a Liverpool fan, and last season we signed Shimakas. He was a left back, just like Tellus. You signed a backup for Luke Shaw. We signed a backup for Robertson. Uh, he played less than 5 minutes of Premier League football last season. Less than 5 minutes. And it depends on the scenario. Manchester United last season, they have the best injury record in the league. Like most of their players were most of the time fit. So you cannot question about freshness, things like that. You cannot question that because the team was one of the fittest team when it comes to the season. Like when it comes to the whole season, the whole period of the season. Liverpool did not have that last season. So that's why, for that reason, Simakas could not be integrated because Robertson was so important in our defense as a leader that we don't want to compromise him. He was the only Liverpool outfield player who started every single game of the Premier League season last season. It was Robertson. So it depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. And like I say, Ole, I agree with your point that Ole is not the caliber like you say for United. But what he was brought to do, I think until this season, I think he did it with really perfection. I think since he came to Manchester United, not perfection. Perfection is a strong word, but he did a very very good job from the time he came to now, because Manchester United, when Ole took the team, and now it's a completely different environment. Of course, before the last 2-3 games, because right now he has lost a few games. So, and football is very brutal. You lost 2 or 3 games, and then we look at you in a different light. I'm not saying Ole should be in the managers. I'm not the one to say that, but I know he has done a great job for United.
Look, I've agreed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has steadied the ship, but it's not like he did a fantastic job at Manchester United.
Yeah.
This was a guy who came and just had a group of players who were his favorite players. And these were the players he was using completely. I don't agree to the fact that he's a good man manager,
No, that
stability in the team.
You have to give him that. You have to agree to that, I think.
Because there are a lot of players in that team who would not be happy with him because he is not using them. The whole idea of having a squad is to be able to use those group of players whenever needed. You play a lot of football. Play a lot of football. Let me just come in.
Yeah.
Let me just come in. Ever since he came into the team, what player has he developed? Mason Greenwood is still the same player he was when he was 17 years old coming from that area.
No, I think he has progress. I think Greenwood has progress.
Greenwood knows how to dribble, shoot, and score, but he doesn't know how to play. He doesn't know how to play as a team.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo is suffering from that right now because he doesn't get chances created from the wingers. Marcus Rashford is still the same player that came into the team, that came into the team from the academy, and Solskjaer met there. He hasn't developed any of these players, whether they're McTominay's or any other players. This is my opinion, and this is what I have observed. I'm judging him as a manager. He has a group of players who are his favorites. This is the same guy who.
But that's normal. But that's normal, I think. I think to have.
Against Leicester, 24 hours before he did his press conference for that match, he said in his press conference that Harry Maguire trained for the first time that week. A day before he did that press conference, that was on a Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So which means on a Thursday, Harry Maguire trained for the first time on grass. Clearly, he's not fit. Even our last match showed that he is not fit. Why do you have Eric Bailly in that team? You just gave him a new contract. Why have him in that team? Put him on the bench to put an unfit player.
Yeah, that's questionable. I agree with you. I agree that is a questionable move to make. But again, I think every manager has their favorite players. If you are managing a team, at the end of the day, if you don't have a core of a players that you trust, it's the same with Klopp. It's the same with Pep Guardiola. They have these core players. Maybe Pep rotates more. Liverpool is the team that rotates the least in the Premier League. It's kind of that way because some of these same players play.
Liverpool rotates less, but you cannot compare Liverpool to Manchester United right now because Liverpool have a manager. Liverpool, they have a manager who has a system, who knows tactics, who has a philosophy, who has an identity. And you can see the way his team plays and wants them to play. Everybody sees that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a group of players that he sticks with, and we all know they're not good enough. Our midfield, McTominay and Fred, everybody know they're not good enough as a pair. Look, it all comes down to coaching. When Fred goes to Brazil, he's another player.
Yeah, that's true.
But in Manchester, he's totally crap. It all comes down to coaching.
Okay.
Last season, McTominay, Harry Maguire and Lindelof were total disasters. They're not good as a pair because both of them are slow, and Lindelof unfortunately always gets bullied.
Yeah, maybe.
He,
But
he sticks with them.
yeah, but I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you that I think you are just kind of highlighting my point that I made, and that is Man United. Yes, they did finish second last season. They did finish second to Manchester City. They did won against the big teams. They won against Manchester City away to Etihad. I think they won Chelsea home and away. They drew at Anfield. I think they won Arsenal. I cannot remember well. So they did well when it comes to the season, but the thing was, the teams around them did not do well enough. But there was no proper progress from the Manchester United team. And this was my point at the start of the season. I think I made that point I when I spoke to Solomon or Bruce or somebody. Because last season, at the end of the season, I had Rio Ferdinand, Man United legend. He say, well, we have progress. Like, he was talking in the light that United have progress because they finished ahead of Liverpool. That was a progress, right? But he did not point to the fact that why did that happen? Because of Liverpool were so bad. Liverpool suffered seriously. Exactly. Liverpool lost like the injury system like where was like unprecedented. I cannot never remember any team having that amount of injury where you have no center back in your team and then you have to compete against this team. So you have to bring all those things into factor. But now that I think you have been highlighting, you have been saying this in a way, I have to give you that. You have been saying this even when United were doing well. You have been there that it is not good enough. It is not good enough. You have said that before, and I think it is just now being more clear for everybody to see. Yeah, but I think this is turning out to be a Manchester United podcast a little bit. So we will move to the match on Liverpool Man United. It was 5-0. I want you to tell me what went wrong. What went wrong for United on that day?
A lot of things went wrong. I mean, look, for me, football, it's all about standards.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, who demanded high standards. And second wasn't acceptable. It was all about winning.
Yeah.
Winning, and winning. So for me, second place, third place, fourth place, just to qualify for Champions League, it's unacceptable for me because I grew up under a manager who demanded the best. Clearly, our coaching staff do not know what they're doing.
No, but on the game, what went wrong? What went wrong on the game? What was the what did you think? What did you see was wrong in the early tactics? What was the team selection, or or what was it? What did you see? I understand. Yeah, Sir Alex is different level, different class, different. I think if you remember well, growing up in Kotu, I think I pointed to you that when Sir Alex leave, this is gonna be a really difficult time for United. If you remember well, I think we had this discussion.
I do remember that conversation very, very well.
Exactly. So now we are here 10 or 15, how many years later, and still United are still struggling on that. So yeah, but focusing on the game, what do you think was what was wrong? What went wrong?
I think first of all, the team he picked the first place was wrong.
What was the wrong selection? What would you have done if you were in his shoes, or what did you think, or which players did you think were like not good enough for a start in that game?
I think starting first of all in the midfield, in the defense, I wouldn't have started Harry Maguire, or if I was to start Harry Maguire, I would start Eric Bailly because Eric Bailly He's powerful and he's quick.
Yeah.
You always need to have a center back that is quick. I understand he can be sloppy at times. He can be very sloppy at times, but he is quick. He provides the space. He provides that pace that allows the team to push higher up the pitch and play further up the pitch.
Yeah.
So I would have started Eric Bailly since Varane was injured. I would have started Paul Pogba. I don't know why in the world Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the only manager who would have a player like Paul Pogba and put him on the bench.
Yeah.
I think he's the only manager that would do that. I would have started Paul Pogba. Whether it is going to be with Fred or McTominay or Matic, I would have even started Matic because he's the best holding midfielder that we have.
Yeah, in terms of experience, that's true. And I think yeah, and like
Fred, Pogba and McTominay do not work together. McTominay is not a 6. Even Fred is not a 6, but at least Fred has a tenacity in him. He could close down plays at least a little bit faster than McTominay.
Yeah.
So I would have started Pogba definitely for sure. And either Matic and Fred.
Okay. Yeah, for me personally, I what I see wrong in the United tactics, I don't really disagree with the formation, the starting lineup. I don't really disagree. But what I thought was wrong was the tactics when it comes to how they want to approach the game, not the formation, not the team itself, but the approach of the game. Like for example, because United, I think that was the first time I see United doing a pressing game, and a pressing game is something that it's a drill that you have to instill in the team, you know. And I don't think Man United has the identity to be a pressing team. And that game, they came out pressing Liverpool. And it was so easy for Liverpool to beat the United press because the first goal, it was easy. It was easy pressing. Bruno Fernandes or somebody, or Ronaldo, I don't know, somebody pressed. And then Greenwood was supposed to press Robertson. He did not press him until he got the ball. And then he pressed him, and then Robertson passed the ball to Jota. Before Jota to get the ball, what is his name? Wan-Bissaka was supposed to press him. He did not press him until he get the ball, and then the ball was just keep moving and then keep moving, and then that is how we drift all your players onto one side, and then we leave the gap on the right side. That is the short space, and then we score the first goal. And this was the common theme that was happening in the game over and over and over again. United were pressing wrongly. They were not pressing in units. They were pressing in like they were not pressing as a team, they were pressing like individually, which was, I think, the wrong. And talking of Pogba, to be honest, I know he's one of the best players in the world, but as a Liverpool fan, I'm always happy when I see Pogba start for United because he is not press resistant. And Liverpool is one of the best pressing team in the league. We all know that. Pogba in that middle, we always cause him trouble because what Liverpool do, he likes time on the ball, he can spread his passes and things like that, and this is what Liverpool don't give him. That's why we started Naby Keita. He's one of the best pressers in that team. We have Firmino, one of the best pressers in that team, and you can see from the third goal, it was from Pogba's, trying to spend time with the ball in the middle. When I saw the lineups, I thought Man United had the better chance, to be honest, at that time. But in terms of approach, no, I mean,
football game is won from the midfield, and our midfield has been crap for the past year.
Yeah.
McTominay and Fred should not be starting for Manchester United. They're not good enough to start for Manchester United. Look, these are people who people think that they are crap because they can't even pass, but they can't even close down. They can't track back. And another tactic, look, even Stephen Wonder can see that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has no tactics. He has no tactics. Manchester United do not have a system. They don't have a philosophy. They don't have an identity. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not good tactically.
Okay, that's it.
Prove what I'm saying. We play a 4-2-3-1 system.
Yeah.
Formation. The wingers that he played, the reason, and I'm going to come back to Jadon Sancho, but we bought Jadon Sancho because we didn't have a proper right winger. Greenwood is not a right winger. He's a striker. Yeah. Marcus Rashford started as a striker and was converted into a winger. These are two white players. They are not creators.
Yeah.
They are goal scorers. And that is why being a striker for Manchester United is difficult because you don't have people, you don't have any wingers creating any chances for you. It's only Bruno Fernandes, and he cannot create all the chances.
Yeah, but
In
I
the
think
midfield, he plays McTominay and Fred.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, our biggest problem in Manchester United right now is a holding midfielder.
Okay.
I like Jadon Sancho, and I'm very happy that we got him. But if I was in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's position this past transfer window, before I spent a 70-something million pound on a right winger that I wasn't going to use and put on the bench, I would have rather bought a holding midfielder. And I would have been able to use Paul Pogba more effectively.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not giving him any excuse on anything. He had the chance to buy a proper holding midfielder. He decided to prioritize a right winger over a holding midfielder because he thought McTominay and Fred are good enough. Those are his first choice midfielders.
Yeah.
This is what was wrong with the Liverpool game.
Yeah, but I think you have to be fair to McTominay and Fred because again, I pointed out the way United press. If Bruno Fernandes is gonna press like by himself, followed by Greenwood press by himself, Ronaldo press anytime they want, Rashford does not even track back. You know what happens in the game? You have 3 blocks or 3 lines. You have the defensive line at the back because we all know Maguire. He can play high up the pitch or something like that. But let's say Man United play a mid block or a low block, something like that. And then you have Fernandes and the attacking players press without even having the midfield following them on the press. Then you leave the gaps in between, right? In between the lines, like they say it. In between the defensive line, in between so at the end of the day, you have your 2 midfielders having to cover all that space. So they are gonna get outrun. This is when they say they are getting outrun in the middle. And this was what was happening. So it is about coaching. You cannot blame I cannot blame Fred and McTominay. I just you made them work too much.
But it all comes down to coaching. Like your wingers should be tracking back. If they are not told to track back by the manager or by the coach, they are not going to track back. And like I said, Greenwood and Rashford, they are not natural wingers. So they have to be coached and be told to track back. If it was Sancho, he would track back because he is a natural right winger. If it was somebody playing on the left who was a natural right winger, who was a natural left winger, he would track back because he knows that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to keep the team shape.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah, that's why my point is. That's why I tell you.
It comes down to coaching.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I tell you.
It's coaching.
Yeah, that's why I say it was not about the personnel for me personally. It was about the tactics of the game, how Manchester United approached the game, and I think that was where you get it wrong in that game. And it was at the end, it was too easy for Liverpool. As a Liverpool fan, of course, I did not expect it to be like that easy. It was like strolling on the park or something like that. After 60 minutes, Liverpool stopped playing. I think even clubs say you have to show some respect at the end of the day because Liverpool could have gone to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They could have scored more, but they just decided, okay, this is a game over, so let's just keep it to this and then end it.
Look. I do not blame any Manchester United player for the situation happening at the club right now. Personally, all players for me get a clean slate under a new manager.
Yeah.
Because for the past 1 year, we have been ranting that McTominay and Fred are not good enough, but they don't pick themselves.
Yeah.
The manager picks them. Harry Maguire and Lindelof as a pair, they have been complaining that they're not good enough. They don't pick themselves. The manager picks them. So at the end of the day, my frustration all is channeled to the manager. To be honest, coming back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Chama, I think it's abysmal. It's embarrassing to still see him in a job. And going back to the board, it still shows the incompetence in this football club. Because, look, Manchester United, before the Liverpool game, have taken 1 point from 12, 14 from 27, This is before the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
You were hammered by Leicester 4. You got a lucky win in the Champions League twice against Villarreal and against Atalanta.
Yeah.
And you get hammered 5-0 by your biggest rival at home. This week was the perfect week to fire him because a new manager could have come in and had a whole week with the team in order to prepare for the Tottenham game.
Yeah, firing is a big thing. Firing is a big one, I think. Sacking is a big one.
No, but I am looking for reasons to keep him in a job, and I can't find any.
Okay, now Modubo, you are at the helm for United. What will you do? Which manager will you consider to bring in for Manchester United if you were to sack Ole?
Look, there are managers out there. Conte is there. Zidane is there. Look,
so you will
Manchester
go.
United is a.
So you will go down that. You will go down that route again, where you're gonna bring this type of managers, this big type of managers. I think it's the same as going back to Mourinho era or Van Gaal's era. So
no. Chelsea were in a similar situation. They had an ex-player turned legend, who was a legend, brought in as a manager. That's it wasn't the summer before last. Chelsea had the best summer. They brought in all these good players.
Yeah.
They started the season and Ibrahimovic realized that this guy wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
He was fired. Tuchel came in. In 6 months, they won a Champions League.
Yeah, I think I pointed out that the teams are different. I think Liverpool will never do that. I think Liverpool will never do those kind of moves. And I don't see Manchester United as that type of club as Chelsea too. It's different type of club. And then you are talking about, and oh, sorry. We are talking about Tuchel. Chelsea saw the opportunity. They know he is one of the best coaches in the world. Tuchel just left PSG. Of course, he did not work for him at PSG. He just finished like in the Champions League final for them the previous season. And then we all know the caliber of coach Tuchel is. Of course, we know Antonio Conte. He has done it in England. He has done it in Italy. But again, he is a type of manager I don't know if they can handle. So I don't know if he is the right type of manager for Manchester United. Zidane, to be honest, he has done it for Madrid. But I don't know much about Zidane. So I'll be very disrespectful to have an opinion about that. But I know he won the Champions League 3 times in a row, which is exceptional for any manager to do. And he has been back to Madrid, and then finally he left because of I don't know what happened. I'm not a keen follower of Spanish football and things like that, so I cannot have an opinion on Zidane. But is it that you are just desperate to get any other manager, or you think the right manager is out there to get for Manchester United? This is my question to you.
Look, let me explain these two situations.
Yeah.
Manchester United, they always come out talking about long term. I'm fed up of that long term.
So is it a desperate move?
We have a this is not a desperate move. We have a squad here ready and now to deliver.
Yeah.
Under the right manager, you would agree with me as a rival fan that this squad has the potential to deliver something this season. Despite the fact that we need a holding midfielder, we have that squad that has the potential to deliver something.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you with the squad, the players, the caliber of players in the team. The squad is very good. Individually, the players are very good. So if you have the right manager, or I don't know who that's gonna be, the team might succeed. There is a manager out there who could make the team succeed, but I don't know if that manager right now is available. That is my biggest concern. I know Conte, he might be a quick fix, but I don't know about the long term. Because I know Zidane and Conte are the available ones right now, and managers we know is a merry-go-round. If this one goes out, and then we take opportunity and use that one, and then bring him in, because I think top managers are out there, but like if you are talking about elite managers, there are not many. There are very few. So, and right now, as we know, most of them are currently with a team or things like that. So that's why my concern from a United point of view is the right manager out there? I know everybody want to get rid of Ole, but is the right manager out there to come and replace him? That is my big concern.
Of course. You have Conte, you have Zidane, you have other managers that you can take from Look, we can go and get another manager who is even in a job. We are Manchester United. We are one of the biggest teams in the world. We are the biggest team in England. Look, I know people have their reservations about Conte, but what? Why shouldn't he be the right fit for Manchester United? He is a big manager. He is a well-known coach, very well respected. He's a winner. He's won trophies.
But the thing
He
is
has a CV. He has a proper CV
that I agree.
that demonstrates winning.
Yeah, the thing is, he is a difficult type of manager to deal with. You know, these are things that we just hear. I don't know exactly, but I understand that.
Manchester United board, it all comes back to Manchester United. Manchester United want to keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a job because he protects the Glazers. He's an ex-player. The United fans fall. Manchester United fans fall into this emotional blackmail of, oh, Ole is the ex-player of this team. He's an ex-legend. He's a nice guy. This and that. That protects the Glazers. And right now, firing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would cost the Glazers money. They'll have to pay him £7.5 million to fire him. And bringing in a new manager means you'll have to offer that manager bigger wages too. And also, dealing with a character like Antonio Conte is not an easy task because he demands winning. And we all know the Manchester United board, all they want is sucking money out of this club. They don't want a manager that they cannot control. They want a manager that they can control, who will be a puppet like Ole.
Yeah.
I think I'll fire Ole right now and give Conte the job tomorrow.
Okay, well, yeah. I think we should leave it at that for United now. I wanted to talk about a few of the games that will be played this weekend. I know United will play Tottenham, which is another big game. I think that's the biggest game of the week.
Before we get into that, can I just say something?
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of time because I'm looking at the time. We have already exhausted 45 minutes, so that's why I want to use the final 15 minutes to talk about the other stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah. Let me just squeeze this in. If you're looking for a long-term solution, we as United fans, we need to stop living in the past. What Sir Alex did and did that. If they want to look for something long-term, maybe a manager like the Ajax manager or the guy coaching Bayern right now, who was coaching one of these Bundesliga teams before.
Yeah, Leipzig. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, they're not big name managers.
But you cannot get that manager. This is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is they're not big name managers, but they have proven to be upcoming big name managers. They have proven something.
Yeah, that is the target, of course.
You can get them, give them something like a 6-year contract or a 4-year contract, give them the players that they want, and give them the time to build.
Yeah,
that is a possibility. But right now, with the squad that Manchester United have, I think we need a big name manager who knows how to manage players, who knows how to coach very well, to get the best out of this team so that we could win something this season or next season.
Okay, nice. I will just jump on to the next one then, because I think we have this is turning out to be a Manchester United like podcast. I am in the middle of in the middle of a United podcast, but yeah, I think I think you have said it all. So let's move on to the weekend games, the fixtures. Leicester City play Arsenal this week. That's the early kickoff in Japan. It's gonna be 8:30. And Arsenal have found a bit of a form, and Leicester as well. So it's gonna be a game of two teams on form. Because I think both of them have won their last few games. Leicester 2 or 3 in a row. Arsenal likewise. So what do you think of that game? Any prediction?
I still think, even though Arsenal have found form of recent, but I still think Leicester might win the game because they will have Ndidi back, and I think he's a crucial player for them, and I think they'll cause Arsenal some problems. And I fancy them
winning. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Arsenal have already scored one goal so far away from home. So away from home they have not been great. I think they have found their form at home, but away they are struggling. Only one, and that was Odegaard's goal, a free kick. They haven't scored from open play away from home. And the form that Leicester are showing and the attackers they have at their disposal, like you say, Ndidi is back, so that could also add something to their team. Daka is on form, Vardy is on form, even Iheanacho is chipping in with the goals, with the assists here and there. Tielemans is one of the best midfielders in the league at this moment in time, I think. I think Leicester will be too much for Arsenal in this game. I will back Leicester to win that one too myself. Next game, Burnley versus Brentford. Brentford, they have lost their goalkeeper for the whole, like, for 4 months or something like that. They play a Burnley team who have not been great. I think they haven't won any game in the league so far. Brentford have came into the league with a lot of surprise. They really held their own against the big boys. They are doing really well. What do you see in that game?
I fancy Burnley to win, even though since the season started, I've not been keeping a close eye on Burnley and Brentford both. But I think I fancy Burnley winning this game, man.
Yeah, personally, I will back Brentford. Brentford have looked really good. Yes, they lost their last game, I think. But when I watch their games, I was really impressed with their performances so far this season. Burnley have not really impressed. They are struggling to score goals until they have that French guy. What is Kone? He scored their last game 2 goals when they draw 2-2. But I think Brentford is a better team at this point so far. Liverpool, Brighton. This is another interesting game. Brighton, of course, one of the most organized team, one of the proper teams that you play against. Liverpool always struggle against them. I think against Liverpool last season at Anfield, Brighton won 1-0. And they played City last game where they lose the game 4-1. But the way they play, the way they control City in the second half, you have to admire the work that the Potter is doing at Brighton. What do you see in that game happening?
I mean, obviously you would have Liverpool in favor. You would foresee Liverpool winning this game, but
yeah,
like you said, Brighton are a well-coached team. I mean, Potter is a genius. He's a genius, I think. I think he's one of the best managers in the league at the moment.
Yeah,
you could see that Brighton have they are
identity.
well coached.
Yeah,
they have an identity. They have a philosophy. They make good use of the ball. I think they'll give Liverpool a good game, but I'll expect Liverpool to come out victorious. Right?
Yeah.
But they need to be careful because they could really hurt them.
Yeah, that's the thing. But so far this season, defensively, they are not looking bad. But when it comes to attack, I think they are struggling a little bit. When it comes to chances or XG, non-penalty, they are second bottom. Only Norwich has a worst expected goals than them. So in terms of attack or chances creation, they are struggling this season. But in terms of play, controlling the games, organization, stuff like that, defensively, they are looking good. But I think they need to improve so yeah, I think I can only see a Liverpool win in this one myself too. And I can also see a clean sheet.
I think if they can get there, if they can work on their attack and work on creating more chances, I think they'll be a very dangerous team to play against.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, next, Man City, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace too. To my surprise, Patrick Vieira, I did not expect him to have that much of an impact when he came into the league, especially defensively, because when I look at his record in his previous team, that was New York, and in France, what was his team? Nice. He was not. His teams were always struggling defensively, but this season, since he came into the league, they have been unlucky because they have conceded some last minute goals where they should have won that game, like against Arsenal, against Brighton. I think three games they have conceded in the 90th minute when they were almost close to winning those games. And if you watch them play, you will be very impressed with the way they are playing. I think Vieira is doing a very good job, but Man City at home, I think will be too much for them. What do you see in that game?
Yeah, obviously it will be too much for them. Man City are a bigger team. They are better players, but I think is it Vieira, right? Vieira came.
Patrick Vieira, yeah.
Patrick Vieira. I think he's revolutionized Crystal Palace. Yeah. I think they play a better brand of football now. Like you said, he's been struggling defensively, but I might think maybe he has coaches working on the team with their defensive. Defensive play.
Yeah, just struggling. Not really struggling per se, because yes, they considered last minute chances, which could be a concern. Exactly. But they were close to winning those games. But But if you look at their overall performance from minute 1 to minute 90, defensively they have been solid. That is to my surprise because I was expecting them to
Yeah,
be a team that will concede a lot of goals. But like you say, the team has been revolutionized because of the new players. They have all, I think they let a lot of old players leave and they brought in a lot of young players. The team has completely changed to what Roy Hodgson had. I really see them. I was expecting them to be one of the teams that will go down because of the changes in the team. But having watched them so far this season, I can see them staying in this league comfortably. But this one, I think Man City will be too much for them. Man City is a top team. When it comes to attack, when it comes to defense, they are just. I think when it comes to attack, only Liverpool is a better attack than them last season. But defensively, I think they are at the top in the league. So I think Man City will win that
yeah,
one.
definitely. I think Manchester City will win. I think they're revolutionizing Crystal Palace. It's a good thing. They'll stay in the league comfortably. But I think Manchester City will be too much for them this weekend. I anyway, it's football. Miracles can happen, but I just don't see them winning this game.
Yeah, next we Newcastle, Chelsea, the Arab money, the Saudis versus the Russians. This is gonna be a big one.
Russians.
Newcastle are still struggling for their first win. I don't know if they will stay in the league with the amount of money they have, which will be very epic, because they cannot spend that money right now. They can only spend it in January. And currently they haven't won any game in the league. And I cannot see them winning against Chelsea. Chelsea are on a top form right now. They are defensively very solid. Of course, Newcastle might have a goal here and there, but Chelsea defensively they are looking very, very solid. It will be very unlikely for them to score. I think Chelsea is gonna win this one easily. I think so. How about you?
Obviously, they're gonna win it. I mean, Newcastle. Listen, I believe they would be a big team in years to come. They're already taking the right step towards the direction. They've appointed. They're going in for a new director of football, and I think a new technical director. They're putting people in place, the right people in place who are football people. They have very good knowledge of how a football club should be run.
Yeah.
And I think in years to come, they will really be a really big team. I mean, but
it
right
takes time,
now,
right? Yeah.
it takes time, it takes time with the right manager and the right players integrating them into the system. But I just think they have to put up with the power of Chelsea this weekend and see what they can get out of it. But I just don't see them, being able to handle what Chelsea will bring to them.
Okay, nice. Next is Watford, Southampton. That is gonna be also on tonight here in Japan, of course. If I say tonight, Watford.
Yeah.
They won against Everton last game 5-2. That was a freak result. Just working scoring a hat trick. Southampton too, they are looking solid. I like their manager. He's a very good manager. I love him, Hassan Hotel, because when I see him like a mini club or something like that. Their management are kind of similar. I like the Southampton team. So this is gonna be a very good game too. I can see a draw happening in this one. What do you see?
Well, yeah, a draw can happen, but either one of them could also win. I mean, the Southampton coach, as you said, he's really good. I see him as an upcoming Nigelsmann, an upcoming this guy at Ajax.
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag. I see him, being in those caliber of managers. Maybe we should give him till next season and see what he brings. But Southampton are a really well coached team at the moment, and I mean, it could be a draw, but either one of them could, win. Maybe
So what will you what is your prediction there? Which team to win? You are going three ways. You are going draw either team, so you have to take one side.
I think I'll go for a draw.
Okay. Next, that's the big game of the week. Man United Spurs. Man United rather. This is gonna be at Spurs. I think both teams are. It's safe to say they are all struggling for form. They are struggling for wins. Harry Kane is having a season to forget. It seems now Son is the star player in that team. And United, as we know, I think I don't even need to say much about United. You have said everything there could be said about Man United. What do you see in this game happening?
Tottenham are really not performing at the moment. I mean, this is why I didn't want Ole to have another chance because I think the club are looking for a game like this where they know that obviously United could win. United could win this game, and they have a higher percentage of being able to win the game. So I mean, but we could get a surprise, performance from Spurs. You never know, and their coach sets them up to be very defensive. And as we know, Manchester United find it very hard to break down low blocks. So I do think United would win the game, but if any other results come out, I wouldn't really be surprised. Nothing surprised me when it comes to United at the moment. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm back in Spurs for the win this one. I think they will find their form. I think they will get goals. I think Harry Kane.
Obviously, you will. You're a Liverpool fan, so obviously you will.
No, 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 no. I'm not talking. I'm not saying that about it. Like I already predicted Man City to win. I predicted Chelsea to win, who are currently Liverpool's, like rivals because these are the teams. I know United is our.
We are your biggest rivals. We are your biggest.
No, I agree. That's. But I mean opponents because for me it's about season per season, right? This season it's about Chelsea and Man City. These are the teams that are close to Liverpool. So these are the teams that I will looking at, and these are the teams I will want to. I prefer to see them losing games than Manchester United at this point. But of course, anytime Man United lost a game, I am very made up. I'm happy for that. I'm happy as a Liverpool fan, of course. But yeah, I just think Spurs will find their form in this game because these are two teams struggling for form, and we all see the problems at United defensively. If Kane and Son, like Kane, maybe he will turn up for the bigger games. I don't know. But I expect him to do that because if he wants a move out of Tottenham, he needs to show for it. And I think there is no better place to show for his form, like what type of player he is, than to show it on this stage against Manchester United. He haven't done it so far this season in the big games, but I can see him turning his season around. And Kane, usually in previous seasons, has been a slow starter, which a lot of us have forget. He don't usually score in the first month and things like that. But this season, I think the story has been made different because he wanted to go to Manchester City. So even though he had a difficult start, which is worse than he had ever had before, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think this game is a game where I think I could see him hitting for. But I'm also saying that because in my fantasy team, I have Kane in my team. So I wish he can score for me goals, which will be only good thing for me.
I mean, if you remember, you mentioned it. He always has a slow start to the season. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this weird thing about Harry Kane. He always starts scoring goals around, is it November, December?
Yeah, exactly.
End of year. There's this just weird situation with him. Like it happens almost every season. I remember for the past 2-3 seasons, this has always been
Be the
occurring.
case. Yeah.
It has always been occurring. Always been occurring. He doesn't have a good start to the season, but immediately end of October, going to November, December hits. It's like, I mean, he's been injected with something, and he just keeps firing goals from all angles.
Okay. Yeah. So you going for a United win? I'm going for a Sports win this one. So let's see how that one pans out. Next, Norwich. We're gonna rush fast and finish it because we already exhausted 1 hour. Norwich versus Leeds. What are you going for?
Leeds, definitely.
I think Leeds are struggling. I think Norwich are struggling badly, but Leeds is a team that if they don't have all their players together, their key players, they struggle. And right now, Calvin Phillips was injured for the last 2 games. Bamford is out for a long time. Ayling is out for a long time. Rafinha might be out for this game. So they might be missing as many as 3, 4, or 5 key players in this game. And that worries me for Leeds. Norwich needs to win if they want to stand any chance. I don't see them staying in the league, to be honest. But if they want to stand any chance of staying in this league, this is a game that they need to start winning. So I can see them getting something in this game. Funnily enough. And I will go for a draw between these two teams. Yeah. Fine. We have two more to go. Aston Villa, West Ham. What?
These two, they somehow give me this derby vibe, But
Aston Villa is in the Midlands and West Ham is in London. So it's
Yeah, I think West Ham will get something out of this.
maybe it's the Jazzy that will give you the the Derby vibe, right? The Jazzy.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, anytime I think of them, they give me this dirty vibe. But
They're
I think West Ham may get something out of this. So I'll go for
Yeah,
West Ham.
yeah. West Ham, they are pretty strong this season. But Aston Villa too. I think this is a decent game. I will go for a draw again. I think they are kind of they have the same kind of level of power. So I will go for a draw. And finally, Wolves Everton, the blue side of Merseyside versus Wolves.
Yeah, Everton, they're very unpredictable. They play
Most
today, play
unpredictable
very
team.
good, and just the next game.
Just capitulate
So
next game.
I think they're a junior Manchester United.
Actually,
They'll win, they'll play today, win today, and come and play tomorrow and look absolutely crap. So
actually,
I don't know.
actually, that's how I
Maybe
see
I'll
them.
draw. Yeah, maybe I'll draw a Wolves win.
Yeah, actually, that's how I see Everton, like a junior Manchester United.
A matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I'm going for a Wolves win.
Wolves win. Okay. Like I
Yeah,
say, I see Everton as a junior Manchester United, like you say. I usually say that
definitely.
because maybe that is for me. It's because of I'm a Liverpool fan, so Everton is my
Both
rival.
inconsistent.
Man United
Both
is my
inconsistent.
rival. So these are my two rivals. So I kind of see them as a team in United, two United teams, because they also give you their players. Like everything, when they sell players, usually they are going to United before they even consider, because Liverpool, they will never sell. These two teams will never sell players to Liverpool. But yeah,
Yeah,
I will go for a Wolves win too. I think I like their strikers, Wang and Jimenez. I think they will cause trouble. Everton is struggling because of no Calvert Lewin, but they have a very good manager in Benitez when it comes to defensive. But like you say, they are unpredictable, so it's a very difficult one to predict. But I will go for a Wolves win. So yeah, yeah, Mo. I think it was a long podcast, 45 minutes of Manchester United rant, and yeah, but I think I think now
definitely.
at least you have released your chest, or like you have released everything off your chest when it comes to Manchester
I
United.
mean,
Because at least next time when we come here, we can focus more on the games, right?
definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty as charged. I'm not feeling myself ever since that Liverpool defeat. I've not really been myself. I've not been myself at all, and I am even more angry that the same person putting us through this is still here, managing the team. It's just, I just don't know how to describe it. The level of incompetence in that team is beyond, beyond my imagination. But anyway, that's what we get.
Okay, I think we should cut it there then. We have already exhausted 1 hour 10 minutes, something like that, and yeah. So I think we will do this next week again. Next week we do more focus more on the games, and then look back on the what happened in this game week. But yeah, it was nice having you around, and hope to see you next time.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm honored, man. I'm honored to be part of this, man. Hopefully next week we will come afresh again and focus more on the games. Break down the tactics, break down the results. Analyze everything properly in depth, and not much more of a Manchester United rant.
All right, guys, you hear
I
it.
think
So
I think I poured my heart out today.
all right,
Everything.
nice. Okay, nice. You have that. I will give you that for this week.
Definitely.
All right, guys, there
Definitely.
you have it. It was the Kotu Classic Extra. Kotu Classic podcast, of course, is about fantasy football, but this one we just try to focus on football stuff. With my man Mo. So until next week, guys. So have a good day, everyone.